All right, once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for spending your Wednesday night at the Cricket Hall of Fame. We are here to do the business of the hall. And we thank you all for giving up your Wednesday evening. I think on the line, if I can see, we have Mr. Victor Rees, Ms. Samuels, Jayton Patel, we have Mr. Melbourne, we have Justina Patel, we have an iPhone, we have Godfrey Blair, we have Mr. Stewart, we have Edmund, Dale Brown, Errol Archer, Patrick Hamilton, we have some more cell phones here. Stuart Pinnock. So tonight, once again, we are at that mark.
People. It does,
So we have, tonight we have 15 individuals on the Zoom.
Curtis Clark is on.
Okay, Curtis Clark is on. Anybody else want to announce themselves?
Mahadio.
Mahadio is on. Anybody else? And I just got a note from Miss Ruby that she's coming on later on. So we're doing good. We're doing good in terms of numbers. And then also, a moment of silence. Our treasurer, Miss Pauline Davis, lost her dad sometime today. So she won't be on. She's getting ready to head for a funeral on Monday. So our condolences going out to Miss Pauline Davis, the program director at the Cricket Hall of Fame. She lost her dad today. Okay.
Mike.
Yes, sir.
Can I, before you start, suggest something?
Go ahead.
Those who are online by phone numbers, if they could just identify who the phone number is, because I don't know some of these phone numbers, I don't know them.
No, we weren't going by the numbers. We just asked. That's why we asked, so everybody tell us who is on the line. So we know Hamilton is on a phone number. We know Godfrey Blair is on a number. We know Mr. Edmund.
But if the person could identify themselves with the number, we know who is speaking when the number comes up.
When they speak, it comes up.
Huh?
When this person speaks, the name comes up.
No, when you speak, they come up on the screen. Right, what?
I had a question, Mike. Pauline's father, is he here or back home?
She's in Jamaica. He's in Jamaica. So she's going home over the weekend. Monday she's leaving for it. So those of you who have her number can give her a call,
Okay, thanks.
And as usual, we like to say every little bit counts. So if you send a card, we usually start the bidding at 20 to 100 looks good in a card, That's an idea.
20 pounds?
Or shillings, whichever. In a little.
You have a bereavement line in the Hall of Fame budget.
No, we will do something, but what I'm saying is, those of us who know her personally might want to reach out. These are COVID times.
I don't know her personally, but if you send me her address, I'll send her something.
Okay, we can do that too.
Yeah, you can give us the address, Mike.
Yes, I can put that out on the
Yeah.
when I do
On
the
your,
email tonight. Yeah.
okay, good.
I was planning on doing that tonight. Just found out an hour ago. All right, so tonight we were hoping to do some planning for the upcoming induction ceremonies. Just to listen to, throw out some things, listen to comments. Like I said, it is shaping up to be a very interesting induction ceremony. We're looking at Sir Richie Richardson. Once again, he expressed an interest that he would love to come, and he is hoping this time nothing interferes with his coming. So if we have Sir Richie, and we also have Councilman Perry, Nick Perry, out of New York.
Shanda Paul.
Well, Chanda Paul is an international player, but we're saying in terms of, upstage in the game, you have Perry, who could become, or who is going to become, ambassador from the US to Jamaica. We're hoping that comes true. So that would give us a little boost,
What is it about Shanda Paul?
Shanda, he's been nominated to be one of the inductees. And we're also looking at Gladstone Dainty, who is past president of USACA. And we are also looking at a gentleman by the name of Mr. Mead, Mereed. He's out of Chicago, somewhere there. He was the founding father of USACA. So he's going to be posthumously. Then we have a number of Pakistanis, maybe 2 or 3, who've been nominated. So we have a strong slate going forward. We have Danny Khan.
So since we last spoke, Michael, sorry, you got some more nominations?
No, I think, yes, one came in from Sham Ali. Yeah, one more. So we're almost up to 9 now. And we're the deadline for the bio or the bios
It's the 20th.
Right, but we're gonna move that back for a number of reasons. We need to hear from, we've selected 12 individuals to work on a committee to look at the bios. They've been informed, so I'm waiting to hear from those persons or individuals to see if they've accepted the challenge to work with the bios.
So you're going to move the date forward?
So we're moving the into February.
Yeah.
So that's
Mr. Chambers.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chambers.
Yes.
This is Roy Reed.
Oh, hi. Welcome, Mr. Reed. I guess this is your first time on the Zoom challenge with us.
That is correct.
Good to hear from you, sir.
Good night, Mr. Reed.
Good evening. How are you?
What as good as you, sir? How's everything?
Fine, fine. Who is the person from Orlando?
That's not Orlando, Hartford.
No, there's somebody there mentioned about Orlando who is moving out of Orlando to someplace else. Godfrey Blair?
Yeah, we have Godfrey on the line. We have a number of people on the line, so.
Okay. I heard I was on the line and I didn't connect to you yet, but I heard somebody's moving from Orlando because, I live in Orlando also. So I was just wondering who that person was.
Guy Blair, that's who that is.
Is he on the line? I haven't seen him or spoken to him in a long time.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah, I'm on the line, Roy. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Godfrey?
All right,
I
how you doing?
heard a number of bad news from Lucas.
What? Who died?
Herdsman.
Yes. He died last week sometime.
Yeah, and Jackie Robinson.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so sad, man.
Jackie Robinson from KC.
No, he used to play for Lucas.
Oh, Jackie,
All
yeah,
right.
yo.
Gentlemen, we will catch up with that at the tail end of the meeting.
Okay,
right?
No problem, sir.
Right. So
Okay, right. We talk, right.
Yeah.
We're looking at the upcoming event. We're looking at it could be maybe 10 inductees and a number of presidential awards. So it could be up to 12 again. I know it's a nightmare for most on the line, but in order to make the program financially successful, it has to be no less than 10 inductees, you know.
I have a question for you, Mr. President.
Go ahead, sir.
What's the criteria to be inducted in the Hall of Fame?
No, man, if you go through your email address.
I have not.
Right. So all those criteria for induction has been sent out a number of times.
It's embodied.
Right.
Okay,
so
it's embodied in the email.
Yes, it's there. We will send them out again. We'll send out, so everybody see what we're talking about. If you look into some of your old program booklets, there are we have those criteria in there.
Not a problem.
Just to make it simple, there are two categories, one international and one we refer to as local. We're trying to change that word local because people believe it's inferior. No, what that means is US and Canada comes under that bunch. International is the rest of the world. International is easy to deal with because we use statistics. They have statistics out there that is available and we know it's reliable. In the US and Canada, for the 400 years that we've been playing cricket over here, we don't have a good record keeping system. I think Mr. Sam Ali is now doing something with the Metropolitan League. And I think CCUSA is also trying to document some statistics. However, what we used to do is the people, US and Canada, the inductees used to be individuals who were officials, officers of different organizations. What we did 5 years ago, we started dabbling with cricketers. And now what we're saying is Hall of Famers can write letters of reference for individuals who we might not believe qualify, but Hall of Famers are saying we don't mind having them in the hall because they've did enough. So that is another method of induction from
what about, I don't want to cut you off, but what is the situation in New York Cricket League? They've been around for many years. They have no history of them?
No record. No. They can't tell me, this guy was a spin bowler. He bowled 10 overs, 3 maidens, 4 runs, 1 wicket. Those records are not available, are not readily available, and not reliable. So we have not been using those ever since the inception of the hall.
Okay. So what is the case? What is the case in the case of someone from New York Cricket League to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. You don't have any history of them from the league.
A cricketer. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, cricketer.
Yeah, a cricketer, then that's what we just said. He would have to get a number of reference letters. Somebody would have to nominate him, and then, 5, 10, 15 Hall of Famers out of New York can then send the Hall a reference letter saying, yes, this fellow is worthy of induction. This way, you see, 20 years down the road, we pick up John Brown, and somebody say, boy, how did this guy get in to the Hall, And the Hall can safely say, by reference letters, Hall of Famers vouch for him that he was a reputable candidate. So that's what keeps us going, and that's why the integrity of the Hall is maintained. To date, I don't think we have nominated or inducted one person who we would love to withdraw that nomination. Problem is there is no mechanism at the Hall to get, or I don't know if you want to call it de-induct. We come up with words of our own. At the Hall, there's no mechanism to take you out. So once you get in, you can't come out. It's like salvation. Once you get salvation, you can't lose it. Once you become a Hall of Famer, you can't lose it.
And Michael.
Yes, sir.
Michael.
Go ahead.
Here.
Yep.
I think what I hear Mr. Reed say, he's trying to see if there's a way for someone who has made contribution to cricket. So I think you can answer the question here, but I think always a 16 Hall of Famers. I think if he gives a bio and it can be substantiated that he did all these things and helped to promote cricket, I think that's an avenue that should also be accepted because.
And that's what we just said.
Right. I'm saying so. Therefore, I think it's make it clear to Mr. Reed that it is possible once it can be documented that he has made this contribution. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we have 15 or 10 or whatever individuals.
Right.
Vouching that yes, I was there when the baby was born and the whole nine yards. When in Jamaica when you don't have a birth certificate and you're trying to get one, you have to find X people who knew you when you were a kid and the whole 9 yards. So.
And of course, he's going to submit his bio also. Which would
yes, you would submit a bio. A bio would have to come in and then we would be able to, vet the bio by talking to people, by looking at the reference letters. Mr. Blair didn't get in, Godfrey Blair didn't get in as a administrator. But when people started talking about what he did for cricket, and I know he didn't solicit most of those reference letters, and we had maybe about 20 letters and emails that came in on his behalf. So it was overwhelming. So you have people who have done a lot, can't put it in a bio, but we have people who can vouch for them, and that's what we've been working with. So we are, like I said, we are on the way planning. We have, because of the fellow from who there was inducted in August, Yusuf Khan, the Pakistani. There are a number of Pakistanis now who are, looking at the Hall of Fame through different eyes and are now seeing the credibility of the Hall. Indians looking.
Mike.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was going to let you finish. Sorry to interrupt you. I wanted to find out the person that the gentleman is referring to from the New York League. If you can mention that person's name, maybe you can assist him too, because they was in New York League for like 12 years.
Come again.
The person that he's nominating.
Who is nominated?
If you can mention that. The gentleman said that you said to the gentleman, if I didn't hear it correctly, he said there was somebody from the New York League that he's going to nominate. Is that correct?
No, I didn't say that. I was just asking the question about New York Cricket League because something was mentioned about two other leagues that they're trying to get information about the leagues. So I take the liberty of referring to New York Cricket League because New York Cricket League has been in existence since 1800. If I recall, this is what I was told. I spent about 50 years in New York Cricket League. So,
what's your name, sir?
Roy Reed.
Oh, Roy Reed. Oh, Roy. Okay. This is Curtis Clark.
I beg your pardon?
Curtis Clark.
Curtis Clark.
Yeah.
Curtis Clark. Okay.
I used to play with Stuga and Demerara, those guys.
Oh, my friend Stuga.
Yeah.
I remember.
Our past friend.
I played with them also.
Yeah, so that is how that works. Like we were saying, going into the upcoming induction, we're looking at about 10 inductees and maybe 3 presidentials. We are at the point where we're still working with how to limit each speaker to 5 minutes. We are still working on that process, how to make that happen.
So where's the venue in October?
It's going to
I
be
know it's all
in Hartford, Connecticut. Sheraton
Where?
Hotel. The Sheraton Hotel, Bradley
Sheraton,
International.
okay.
It's going
there's a Sheraton and the Bradley.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all those details are slowly coming into place. And as usual, I like to explain to everybody, the hall usually likes to do a 250 person induction ceremony. So once we get the numbers to 250 ticket sales, we discontinue ticket sales. And that's
Are you saying that you're only looking for 250 people max?
250 max, yeah. At the induction ceremony. Now, with the advent of Ambassador Perry, if that is to happen, we would be looking at a Friday night event before the function. Government affair kind of situation, someplace in Hartford. And we have a number of people reaching out to us who would want to host the event. So those are the kind of things that are happening. The World Cup that Cricket Council USA did for us last year might take place 2 weeks after the induction ceremony. And we are saying we would stage it if it's going to be staged. We would probably go back to Broward County Stadium to do the World Cup like we did last year. And there are talks to invite maybe another 2 teams to join. So there were 4 last year, might be up to 6. Mahdi, are you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Did you hear anything from CCUSA about increasing the number?
Yes, Sri Lanka and Canada is in.
Okay, so the number is now 6.
6.
Right, and there is also now a prize package.
Yes.
Right, so even though he wanted to do it in Hartford, but we would not have the facilities to really do that here in Hartford, because last year was really outstanding, and it went worldwide. So we would want to keep that caliber of programming going forward. So we are saying, yes, repeat it, but do it down in Florida 2 weeks after the induction ceremony is in Hartford. So that is what the 2022 induction ceremony is shaping up to look like. An event the Friday night if Ambassador Perry gets inducted and makes it here. And then the induction
I have a
ceremony.
I have a question for you, Michael.
Go ahead.
In regards to my good friend Nick Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what is he being inducted as a former cricketer or a supporter or I don't know. So you want to bring me up to date on that?
Publicity.
Yes. I met Mr. Perry, I am going to say about 20 years ago, through Roy Reed with the New York Cricket.
Roy Sweeney,
sorry, in New York.
Okay.
And as the saying goes, you don't get anything done if you don't have politicians on your side. You know?
That's true.
They got.
No, I'm not questioning. I just asked a question.
No, right.
Because
so I'm telling you.
He never played. I know he played a little soccer when he was going to Casey.
Yeah. No, he's not getting that. He's not getting inducted. Okay. He's a local inductee. That means he has nothing to do with playing cricket. It has everything to do with growth and development of cricket in the US.
Yeah.
I think he did a yeoman's job.
No, I'm not questioning in the term in a negative way.
No. I'm explaining to you because here's why I'm taking the time to explain. That I am embarrassed that his name didn't come up before. You know?
Okay.
Because
excuse me, Mike.
Good choice.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
No, I've been listening very carefully, and I just wanted to go back on you basically painted an outline of the criteria that the Hall of Fame looks for in nominating individuals to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir.
I mean, based on your description, it's more like a Supreme Court position. You cannot be uninducted. Now, you referred to statistics, but again, statistics are like women in bikini. What they reveal is interesting, but what they conceal is vital. People make different contributions. And what I'm trying to say is there are certain individuals who have made a tremendous contribution to the Hall of Fame. And one of those individuals is Patrick Hamilton. I mean, I would definitely like to see him considered. I mean, people's contributions take different forms, you know? And in my own interaction with Mike, you, and Patrick, his dedication, as far as I'm concerned, is unquestioned. And I think those characteristics should be considered. That is what I have to say, that I think Patrick should be considered this time.
And you know, I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to do it. Not this time. So moving along.
You can't give a reason, Patrick. Michael, no.
No, I wouldn't do that on here, Papa.
But he's not nominating him. He said he think he should. He's not a nomination.
No, I didn't. I basically put it on the floor, on the table.
No, but that's not how it works, Papa.
Right. This is not that a nomination you just suggested.
Right, but we won't have a discussion because
That's not how it works. That's what
right.
Right. He was just suggesting. That's all.
So this is not the forum for that. Is that I understand that at this particular time is not the forum to.
This is
No. Somebody got to nominate.
Gentlemen.
Okay.
That's not how you present a nomination. So if Mr. Edmond needs a letter, he can get it and go study it and do what he has to do. So I'm saying, no, not at this time.
Fair enough. Okay. Fair enough. Again, no, I'm not trying to break protocol or, we're all discussing things here and not everybody is intimately familiar with all the requirements of the nomination. I just thought in the interest of being open and frank, this is what I feel. And, it's left to everybody else to, think about whether it has merit or not.
To make a nomination.
Yeah, okay. All right, Mr. President, we're good.
Chairman, sir. Not president. I'm the chairman of the Cricket Hall of Fame committee.
So moving forward.
Moving forward. So the ceremony is in full blast. We have 10 nominees going forward. We will start putting out the bios shortly.
Okay.
We have 12 people who will scrutinize and organize over the bios.
Okay.
And then we will come back. We hope to be able to make a selection by the end of February. So by March, we will know exactly who all the nominees will know if their nominations have been accepted and if they're going to be inducted. By March, everybody will know that situation because it's going to be a hectic year going forward. So that's where we are. We're also, go ahead.
Just quickly, you said there were 2 teams being added to the tournament in Florida. It was Sri Lanka, and what was the other team?
Canada.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Right. Yeah, that is going to be an integral part of the thing because we are hoping that out of that series, the Hall of Fame revenues will grow. We are looking at a couple of things happening with that tournament. The program booklet for the hall is a very integral part because what that does, that keeps record. We had up until six to 8 months, we had a set of all the Hall of Fame program booklets. It has been misplaced. We're hoping that it will return the package with all the program booklets, return to the hall. But we also have a volume 1 that covers the first, I think, 10 years of the hall. Then we have volume 2 that did the next 20. And now we have volume 3 that is going to cover 2016 up to 2019, 2020. So we have records of all those persons who were inducted. So we look at the program booklet. Somebody saying something?
I want to put on my mask.
Okay, so the program booklet is sort of a fundraiser for the induction ceremony. If you listen to New York program booklet actually brought their program $10,000 that they were able to use to pay for the book, pay for music, pay for different activities. Program booklet at the hall that when we do it, that pays your gas bill, your light bill for the year. So we look at revenues raised from the program booklet. So this program coming up, the full page advertisement is $300. The half a page is $200, and then we have what we call a third of a page, which is $100. Now, we are thinking that those numbers might need to increase because printing is starting to get a little expensive, and to put together the artwork look like it's going to be a little troublesome this year, because normally individuals, when they send in their ads, the hall is required to put together, something for the program booklet.
Okay.
If a guy gives you $100 for a third of a page and all he sends you is a check, then you have to make up an ad. That becomes very, complicated. Right.
I have a question for you, Michael.
Go ahead.
I don't want to feel I'm interrupted, all right?
No,
which island in the Caribbean that has the most inductees? And when you answer me, I will.
All right. I don't think it's a good question, but all the islands, the larger islands, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, Guyana.
Antigua.
No, Antigua don't have that many.
Guyana is not an island, Michael. It's only one big island in Jamaica.
I know what the gentleman is asking, and so I'm answering his question. I'm telling him the islands are the countries that we have a number of inductees from: Guyana, Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados. It's centered around those islands.
Well, the reason I was asking, I noticed since the hall came into existence, most of the induction ceremony are held in Hartford, New York, and I think in Florida. And I was just wondering and thinking, what is a possibility of taking it to one of these islands? I mean, somebody says about country, I don't, but they're islands. I mean, Barbados is an island. I mean, most of these are islands. I don't know if you ever think about that. I would imagine that Barbados would be a perfect venue for something of that nature outside of the United States.
So I
think they all will get a tremendous amount of support if it's well advertised and you have prominent people in that particular island that is going to participate. And of course, if you have someone who is going to induct it from that island, I think it would be a great thing to do. It lends a lot of publicity, and it would be a stepping stone, for a big stepping stone for the order, for the hall, I should say. I think we should think about that.
All those suggestions, sir, have been thought about, and they are sitting in our files.
So it was thought about before.
Yes. And like I like to explain, New York started the conference call approach 3 years ago. Pandemic came and it was taken one step further with the Zoom approach now. Tonight we have 15 people on the line from all over. Normally we would have some friends from Jamaica, but they are down there now at a 9-night. Mr. Rudy Williams 9-night is going on tonight down in Jamaica. So those fellows aren't on the line tonight. Chicago people would come on. So we now have 15 people on the call tonight. So I explained last meeting, this is wonderful news for me, because now we can venture into doing a lot of things. Imagine the Hall of Fame did a World Cup last year, you know, with 4 teams, costing each team $5,000 to come in. You know, those kind of exciting adventures. So, Mr. Reed, to answer your question, it won't be too long until an induction ceremony takes place either in Jamaica or Barbados or Trinidad or Guyana. But here is what you should know. There have been 2 induction ceremonies, one in England and one in Australia. See? So we've been all over the place. So that's why when I said
I did not know about England and Australia.
Right. So those people who come on the blog, read the emails, follow the show. And let me just apologize. Mr. Walker had a surgery on his eyes today. So he's not able to come on the show tonight.
Oh, okay.
He's recuperating. He would have loved to jump in because he was the one who did set up Ramadan's induction ceremony in England. Ramadan was inducted in England. The ceremony took place over in England. Certificates were generated, sent over, and they had a nice ceremony, you know. The tape got lost. They weren't able to send us the tape. We're still trying to get pictures. So, but that took place like 3 years ago.
So when you those 2 years that we actually had inductions, anyone from the all in New York or from Hartford attended?
No, because it's not necessary for all you do is you delegate your position, you know, and it gets done. Somebody swear to me and we record the hall. Once the hall recognize that the person has been inducted, then once we give the permission, then we have to recognize that happened. And we also had a solo induction ceremony at the hall when we inducted Sir Hilary Beckles.
Oh, okay.
You know, he was inducted at the Hall of Fame, you know, solo. He was the only person, but there were a number of people present. As a matter of fact, because at that time, he was able to pick up Sir Hilary Beckles' day was announced in Hartford for Sir Hilary. So those kind of things do happen, Mr. Reed. It's not unheard of. But we might do a full-up venture one of these days in one of those islands. And the reason why we would do it, we would love for every island to have a little satellite Hall of Fame of their own. You know, it's a very interesting approach to honoring people who've done service to sports or to any faculty, you know. You have baseball, you have cooking Hall of Fame, you have all sorts of Hall of Fame. And that is to honor the people. So when we did it back in 1980, like I tried to explain, England laughed at us. You know, so we didn't play cricket in the US, how are we gonna do it? Yet still they don't have a Hall of Fame. We have one, and we are the only international Hall of Fame in the world. So we're going good, we're making good progress. So like I was explaining the program booklet now, we can keep the price of the ads as is. The back cover costs $1,500, inside cover $500, and a full page ad costs $300. This might be the last year we can afford to do those prices. Because, for example, the program booklet that we did for the 40th anniversary, we bought 300 of those down to Florida. And there were people complaining that they left their program booklet on the table and went to the men's room and come back and it was gone. There was not, normally you go to a function, You see the program booklets after the program all over the place. Nobody wants them. Everybody is keeping these program booklets, and this has been happening now for the last 20 years. So it is obvious that people are reading them. We try to put interesting stories inside. Maybe the time has come, and maybe next year we can look at bumping up the price for the ads to generate some more funds. The hall has been fortunate. We've been given space at the Sportsmen's Athletic Club. That's a parent organization for the Cricket Hall of Fame. Most people ask, how come the hall itself does not have a 501c3? And that's because the hall comes under the directions of it's a derivative of the Sportsmen's Athletic Club. If we were to try to get a 501c3, we would have to break away from the Sportsmen's Athletic Club, then become a solo organization.
I want to say something on that.
Go ahead.
You don't have to break away from Sportsman to get a 501c3. All you have to do, in my, is to have an annex to Sportsman. Make it an annex to Sportsman, and like you'd say, Sportsman Hall of Fame or something like that, or whatever the Hall of Fame is now. It says you would put it in the charter that it would call Sportsman something, and you'll be able to do that without breaking away.
Right. So maybe you didn't understand the term breakaway.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
Right. If we picked up a 501c3, we would now have to file our own income tax. At present, the Hall of Fame is a committee of the Sportsmen's Athletic Club. So we file our taxes with the Sportsmen's Athletic Club. So,
but I have maybe I'm looking at it from a different perspective. That I think the Hall of Fame should stand on its own.
And that's what we just said, Mr. Reed. In order for the Hall of Fame to get a 501c3, the hall would have to stand on its own.
Correct.
So you would have to break away from the Sportsmen's. You would not be doing your taxes with the Sportsmen's. As of now, the president of Sportsmen's is the president of the Hall of Fame. We would have to break that tradition. It would now become a stand on its own situation. So that's what we're saying. When I look at the screen, I'm seeing 16 people at the meeting. This is very encouraging. And so we've even taken it 2 steps further. After talking with a number of historians, they've recommended that instead of 501c3, the Hall of Fame, you do a museum. A 501c3 with a museum.
Yeah.
The museum would be supported by the government because museums are funded by grants.
Okay.
So now the museum would be a stand on its own. It would be funding. So going forward, we would be in good shape and we would fold the Cricket Hall of Fame into the museum. And the Cricket Hall of Fame.
What would the name be?
Cricket Hall of Fame Museum. What do you mean, what would the name be? Simple.
Cricket Hall of Fame Museum.
Right.
I'm trying to think, is that appropriate?
I just told you, Mr. Reed, that I have sat down with a number of historians who recommended that procedure.
I'm not saying anything about that, I'm not.
Right. But I am telling you what we're looking at. We have a young lady from the Sportsmen's Club. I was hoping she would be on tonight, the vice president, who we have asked to head up the museum department, you know, so that we start. The bylaws for the museum have been in progress. We're starting putting everything together. We have people who are willing to build a building for a museum and host the Cricket Hall of Fame Museum to the tune of millions of dollars.
Wow.
Australia did it, so we can do it. Cricket is not a known sport in the US. You know, everybody know cricket, but it's not known. You go to most people, I think you're talking about an insect, cricket, you know? But if we were to do a museum, the government, you can write all sorts of grants for a museum. And all the artifacts that we now have at the hall would be in there. Whenever you do, now we can do a Hall of Fame induction ceremony, any place, and all the certificates get stored at, guess where? The museum. So we would need a Cricket Hall of Fame facility like we have at the club. We would have a museum, a big, real, live museum, and then we would fold all these things into it. So that's what the hall is doing. But we could now do all of that, like I said, because we have on a regular Wednesday night, we have up to 10, 15 people coming on the line, and we now have breakout groups doing different things. We have Mr. Patel, who is over there working on who is who in cricket. Most of you, if you read the website, I encourage people, start going on the website once a week. You will see all these things happening. Last week, the group made a decision. The tie has to be a part of the dress code for the Hall of Fame inductees going forward, the blazer going forward. So now we are putting together a tie committee. We're asking Mr. Godfrey Blair and Miss Ruby. What's her last name again, Godfrey? Harrison, right?
Yeah, you can say Harris for short, Mr. Chambers.
I was just doing that to see if you're on the line. You promised you would come in, and you're a lady of your word. She's in. Miss Harrison and Mr. Curtis Clark. So we're asking those three people to get together and start putting together how we're going to raise a couple dollars to order maybe 100 ties for the next batch of ties. I think the first batch was 100 and they were sold off in no time. So we're going to put it out there that ties are on sale again. We're going to ask Mr. Clark to be in charge. We're going to ask Mr. Godfrey Blair and Miss Ruby Hansen to work as a group, keeping records and doing that, because the ties, like Mr. Lindell Wright from Jamaica, he was the one who introduced the tie to us. He thinks the tie is the most important piece of the Hall of Fame going forward. No problem with that. So if that's the thing, then we want to make it sacred. We want to have a little group working that so that we never run out of ties going forward. So Mr. Clark is on the line, Mr. Blair is on the line, and Miss Ruby is on the line. So we can give you numbers so you guys start talking, putting together a plan as to how we're going to get ties. But the program booklet is where, like I said, the headache comes in, where New York did a bang-up job the last time. They were able to print, they said 300 books, and it cost them less than $2,000. So if we can reach out to John Aaron who did it, going forward. But I'm also thinking that next year, the program booklet, the price of the ads should be increased, just to make sure that we stay in business with the booklets. Jocelyn Chance used to do it for us, Mr. Chance, and he used to bring in profit on the book. Those days, you used to bring us $10,000 profit. That was what we used to run the hall.
Wow.
So I can just explain to you the Thai program. We're asking Curtis and Godfrey and Ruby to, start talking, take that as a project, and let us see if we can actually grow that, because everybody is saying you could always have a little Thai booth at every airport selling all of your ties. That would be wonderful, So let us see how we can grow that project. Anything so far that anybody would like to comment on? The ties, the booklet, the program booklet?
Curtis Clark here.
Go ahead, sir.
Does Ms. Samuels get back to the status of the women's progress on the what you call it, not the tie, the scarf?
No, the women, including Jojo Patel and Miss Samuels and Ivy, they were supposed to be telling us about women's scarf, but they haven't gotten back to us. So we can give them another couple of weeks, and then we will throw the challenge out to the men to design the scarves, But
would it be more appropriate that the scarf would be the same colors as the men's ties? And
we don't have a problem.
Design it there.
We don't have a problem with what it looks like. I'm saying somebody needs to take that project in hand and come back to us with a design. That's how we did the ties, right? Everybody put an input in, and we voted on the ties. Which one?
Yeah, but what he said is that it should be the same color.
We
Yes,
don't.
it's all the same colors. You can change it.
We don't care what it is. If the group wants the same color, then that's what it is. But as of now, we don't even have a design. So we're saying we're leaving it up, giving the women another 2
All
weeks.
right.
Go ahead.
I would try to reach out to. I try to reach out to those ladies and help and work with them.
Exactly. So you can fold that into your portfolio.
All right.
That would be the way to go. Anything else anybody wants to comment on?
Hey, Mike.
Go ahead, sir.
In terms of ads for this booklet, what's a deadline date? You have a deadline date?
Yes, we have never changed the date. August 15th. It's going to be, for the October program. It has to be August 15th. And this time, the fellows who are involved are demanding that the deadline be held, because it becomes very tricky. The day you're going to print, you have to redesign the book,
Yeah.
Because a couple ads come in, but like I explained the last time, what do you do when a $2,000 ad come in? You have to find space, So those are some of the
challenges
that we face. But like I said, now with 14 people, it's a piece of cake, Piece of cake, now that we have all these people working together. All right, anything anybody wants to bring up at this time? Now we are almost into good and welfare, We've covered what the agenda items, everybody know where we're going.
Yeah.
Any suggestions? Mr. Patel?
Yes, sir.
Could you give us a little update now on the who is who in cricket? That project seems to be going like a snowball rolling down the side of a hill, man. It's picking up steam. Can you bring us up to
Yes,
speed?
we are moving forward, and very soon this week we will send out a email invitation to the Cricket Hall of Famers. If anyone interested to join, we have the form ready to go for that. We also have created a temporary form on the Google for the entry. And by the way, behind the screen, we got the portfolio ready to go, like how we gonna do it, how many awards we expecting, what will be the process, what will be the recognition, what will be the charge, this all thing is in place. But as I said earlier, this is my first draft, let's say this way. And we're gonna pick up some right people in advisory board, and we can fine tune our final product. Meantime, site is in progress, and probably I'm expecting within next 10, 15 days, we will have official site ready to go. And we'll be launched with the online registration and more details. So that's what we stand.
Everybody understand what Mr. Patel just said?
Yep.
All right. So that's going forward. And once again, my vision is that in 5 years, the Cricket Hall of Fame will sell Who Is Who in Cricket to ESPN for $10 million. Mr. Patel gets $2 million. Yours truly get $1 million, and the rest gets divided up into whoever.
So that's a plan, guys. I will say this one will generate some money. And as initially me and Mr. Chambers talked about it, it's not about relying on volunteers, but giving the opportunity to everyone to come on board and work for it, and the compensation will be paid. So that is also a plan to set forth a budget, like how much we will charge for processing and how much contribution will go towards Operation Cricket Hall of Fame, museum, and the compensation towards the people who work, that sort of thing. But in a long run, the project vision is very clear that we will try to include almost everyone out there in cricket world directly or indirectly. And that's a massive. Once we start, I don't think it can be stoppable. It will be crazy. And in today's world, more the people we have in your database, that's a beauty, because that's what the world is all about. And top of that, this Who Is Who will have their own awards and recognition, just like the Cricket Hall of Fame does. But it will not disturb or interfere what we are doing. That will stay as a high class standard as it is. But this will be a secondary version where some people can easily get into, and there is a little bit of process before we accept the recognition or award. So it's a more we can discuss, but as I said, this week you are expecting email from Mr. Chambers. We'll have a link to the online form where we need some detail from you. And then we will set up a good group of people and we will start talking on that project separately, just like we are doing right now, because we don't want to do too much in just one meeting, because these normal meetings are now going almost 90 minutes to 2 hours. So basically it makes more sense. People can be divided and talk about that particular project for a separate amount of time. That is the set forth as a next.
Correct.
Any questions on the Who Is Who? All right, just a report on another good happening. Earlier on in August, I explained to the group that a company had given the Hall of Fame 650,000 pairs of safety kits, COVID safety kits. Inside each kit, they have 3 masks, 5 pairs of gloves, a bottle of hand sanitizer, and some wipes. That might sound insignificant, but when you look at the little package, if Jamaica had those right now to be given out, they would be in good shape controlling the COVID. Now, I tried to give away those containers to the islands, and there were no takers. The person who donated the stash decided, well, he was also going to pay for the shipping. And so he paid for the entire 35 containers, or 650,000 safety packs. Those are now getting ready to be shipped to Jamaica. So the entire shipment is going to Jamaica. That I am hoping will take place before Valentine's, because this has been going on for a couple of months. We did not realize how much detail had to go into shipping a container from one country to the next. You have to detail how many bolts are in the container before the container can move. So that's where we're at right now. But it will be shipped in another, I'm going to say 2 to 3 weeks. 35 containers going to Jamaica, 650,000 safety kits. So that is another plus in our record book. The Cricket Hall of Fame has once again outdone itself.
So Mike.
Yes, sir.
Will a Hall of Famer in Jamaica then receive these containers for distribution?
No, what we did, we shipped them to the Ministry of Health, who have decided to receive them. And then what we did, we identified about 15 groups in Jamaica who should get a container. What they do with the rest is up to the government. We, when you tell people, boy, we're giving you something for free, they couldn't believe it. Nobody would believe it. It was so strange. They asked so many questions. What's in it? Did it expire? Why did? And so I said, listen, man, I am not going to answer all these questions. If you want it, take it. If you don't want it, what can I say? So those people who reached out and say, yes, we will take a container. We have a list that is going to the Ministry of Health. They will clear it and they will give those people their container. Each container will, I believe, have 20,000 safety kits in each container. So that's about how that breakdown. So that's in the move and that's going through real good. So the hall, like I said, the hall has been, since Yusuf Khan's induction in New York, has been taking off. People calling all from all over the world. Anything else anybody would want to talk about? Now is the time.
Hey, Mike Mahadio.
Go ahead, Mahadio.
I just want to remind the guys, maybe get a reunion who want to come. June 11th and 12th, a Revive Six-a-Side tournament in Hartford. I don't want to plug it, but...
No, man, this is your... I was waiting to see if you would, Go
we
ahead.
Need volunteers, so all our members, can come out, We need volunteers to come out that weekend. We can send an invitation out to everybody to come.
I am thinking that this is going to be the biggest six-a-side tournament that has ever taken place in the US.
Right.
Hey, Mahadia.
Yes, sir.
Mahadia, Godfrey Blair here.
Hi, Godfrey.
Hi, how you doing? Hey, listen.
Good.
I'm in the past, I was not able to come to the meetings because I've been pretty busy on a Thursday.
Okay.
Okay, but I found a copy of the Hall of Fame of the six-a-side tournament. The first prize was $2,500. Runners up was $1,000, and the entrance fee was $150 per team, based on 16 teams. Okay.
Right. Okay.
You could use that information moving forward. Okay.
Yeah, we got something. We got something. Dale, are you on the line, Dale?
Mr. Dale Brown, you still here?
Yes, I'm here, Mahalo. Yes, sir.
All right, Dale. I know Mike, Mike, give us 2 minutes. Dale can give you a plug of what we have going on.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. It's important.
Go ahead, Dale. Just tell them what we have in mind.
You're speaking in terms of what now?
The prize money, what we have for prize and entrance fee and teams.
Right, because we were looking at the prize money being 5,000, but I believe it would have to be about at least $10,000 to split amongst the winners to make it worth their while. And that would be dependent on the entrance fee, because the higher the entrance fee is, you have to make it be reasonable to the point where, if especially people traveling and have to spend monies for hotel and travel, they would have to spend, let's say, $100 per person. They would have to win at least $700 per person, and seven times 9 is 63. So I would say the first prize would have to be at least $5,000 total.
Well, it's open for us to get more sponsors, so we're still working on that. Nothing is concrete yet on the prize money.
No, right. And we sent out a letter to Coca-Cola. We're trying to get a name to send to a specific person at Pepsi-Cola. We are waiting the reply from Coca-Cola right now as we speak.
Dale?
Yes, sir.
Dale? Curtis here. Yes. All those names were given to your co-host. He's got the names of both Pepsi and Coca-Cola.
Now the problem is with the gentleman from Pepsi, we were not able to get a phone number, a contact for him, because we have where he had moved to Moscow. So we don't even know if he's in the United States.
Okay, I didn't know that you don't have a phone number.
I forwarded the letter to Pepsi people with my connection. So at least the word of mouth is there now about what we're doing.
Okay. So maybe we would have to collaborate on that to make sure that we hit the right target, because we already sent out something to one gentleman, Mr. Kendrick. Mr. Kendrick. Yes.
On the Pepsi side, my source is not in position or in power, but they will forward to the right people in the organization. And once we know, we can directly contact and talk with them.
Okay, good.
Okay, Mike, thanks for your time. We don't want to cut into other time. We have our own meeting every Thursday, 8:30. So,
okay, Maddie, I tell to Donovan Bell, who, the tournament is in Hartford, and he's known for organizing the massive of people in Hartford. He's a soccer guy, and he owns a restaurant right now. So he's
we don't want to take up too much time. No, we discuss our business.
Okay, so I'm telling you that I made a contact for him, for you, so we could He's going to join the meeting tomorrow.
Yeah. So we have set an open meeting for tomorrow. We talk about this every Thursday, 8:30. So Mike, we can send the link out who want to join in tomorrow to follow up more and assist us with this. But in the meantime, I want you guys to save the date. June 11th and 12th, Cricket Hall of Fame, 6-a-side in Hartford, Connecticut. So thanks, Mike.
Thank you, sir. Any questions on the 6-a-side? And I will send out the link. So if you want to join Mahadio tomorrow night, 8:30, you're welcome to do so. Anything else anybody would like to bring on board here?
Just quickly, on Monday, I have Andre Coley, the Jamaica coach, on the Monday program.
All right. Cricket. Okay. At what time?
At 1:20.
Okay. It's the station again. Tell us the station again.
Well, it's the soundchatradio.com, the internet radio TV program.
Okay.
Soundchatradio.com.
All right.
Anything else? Anything happening in did I see? I didn't see Miss Samuels, right?
Yes, she was here. She came up.
All right, she's not here now. All right, anything else before we adjourn this section? Stuffy not here tonight, so we will.
No, Mike, there's a nice under 19 World Cup cricket going on in the West Indies. So I think West Indies is playing tomorrow. The youths, some pretty good talent.
Good, interesting. Anything else?
Is it tomorrow or Friday? The youngsters playing.
Yeah, the U19 game is on Friday.
Friday?
Yes, and West Indies will be under pressure. They don't have to just win. They have to win with a certain margin to be in.
Yeah, to Sri Lanka.
Yeah. So at least they have to have the better run rate than the Australia. So that is the one tough challenge. And the Sri Lanka is bringing 4 spinners. Do you have to say anything else?
Well, a lot of youths here, a lot of talent there. So a lot of,
Yeah, they got good big hitters. West Indies got the big hitters. And there are a few guys can change the game if they can stay at least 10, 15 overs, I would say.
Yeah. It was a good game today. Ireland and India. I watched that game today.
Yeah.
That was one-sided because India had pulled out 5 players because of Corona.
Oh,
So everyone on the bench played actually today, but still against Ireland, so it was okay. And now they are in the playoff.
Yeah.
That means the players going to have the good time to recover before the playoff start.
I think, this is Curtis, I think England looks to be the more balanced team. That's a team you have to watch. And I still think the West Indies have a chance tomorrow if they get past Sri Lanka. And I hope they would. I know they put a lot of work in, and I would like to see them move forward. I think, as I said,
I think England and Australia both are good. England and Australia both are good. Australia got a little bit shaky start, but looks like they are getting accustomed with the weather. And probably it will be good fight in a playoff. We have to see who is matching who. And don't forget the Afghanistan. The surprise is coming. There is 4 or 5 kids are unbelievable talent. at the under-19
Yeah.
stage, and they have just played barely one game so far. And I believe game against Pakistan will decide their caliber, how good they are.
Mr. Patel,
Yeah.
go, who was that?
Right.
Mr. Patel,
Yes.
on that talk show with Antigua, did you get any feedback?
Yes, it's all good. He appreciated, and he says it was excellent, and he's coming back in February some point.
No, why I'm asking, I sent the book down to Springer.
Yeah.
Right.
He's in Miami.
Oh, no,
Oh, we got the email. Yeah, we got the email
Right.
version. So no, on that one, he has not come back yet.
Right.
He might be reading the book, and then he'll respond.
Because I think I would love to get a little committee from the Hall of Fame, but there's nobody on the program, just the three of us, me, you, and Dale. And going forward, I think I'm going to set up a mindfulness training for the West Indies coming from the Hall of Fame, but there's not too many people from the committee that we can invite. It's just going to be me, you, and Dale. Nobody has read that little book.
Which is fine. We are able to manage. We are able to manage.
Right. So I sent you the email that was sent to Springer, Mr. Brown, Dale.
Yeah, we got it.
Yes, I
got that,
received
right?
it. Yeah, yes, sir.
So us three, we're going to have to come up to speed, because while we were doing the interview, I was a little bit worried that Mr. Springer was looking at cricket back in the 40s and not going forward. So I think we might want to start working with what's his name now, out of India. Remember, he promised to work with us. Vengaskar, is that his name?
Ken?
No,
Yes,
the guy we
Dilip
did last year.
Yeah, Dilip Venksankar. Yeah.
Dilip.
Yep.
Because he has an academy, right? More than one.
Yes.
So I think going forward, it's going to be up to us to introduce that to the West Indies. Because they are still thinking that little boys should be playing cricket with coconut bat and rubber ball. Not seeing these little fellows in academies learning to play cricket.
And the street coaches. They need to change the street coaches.
That right, and that's the sad part of West Indies cricket. There's no academy down there,
Michael, that's not true. Last week program, Nikita Miller has an academy at Melbourne. I'm not sure if you listened to it, but that's something or somebody we should be in contact with. He has about 8 to 10 kids, he said, but this guy is very knowledgeable, and he seems like he's committed to it. And it's like a first in Jamaica, and he recognized that. So he's at Melbourne. We have connection with Melbourne. So I'm gonna get his number from Dale and see about.
But we're not going that road with 8 cricketers. We're going down the road with a bunch of folks who understand mindfulness training. If you don't understand mindfulness training, we're not inviting you to be a part of this. Simple as that.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, you talk
I
about
hear what
academy.
you're saying. So I'm saying
So,
if Mr. Nikita Miller knows about mindfulness training and he's doing it, then we would love to work with him. If he's not doing that, then we're not going down that path.
well, I mean, I'm sure he's doing, he's open-minded. Dale interviewed him. Dale should, you know, be familiar with what he wants.
Anything else? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you once more for spending your Wednesday night with the Cricket Hall of Fame. And we are, what the fellow used to say, moving on up, you know. It's looking good for the hall this year. And if you have, like I said, anything interesting, send me an email. Please stay on the website, you know, visit at least once a week. If you have articles that you would love for me to put on the site, email the article to me. But we usually love to get a picture. So if you have a picture story that goes with an article, we love those. Mr. Brown has been putting up articles. So, you know, we're asking everybody that, you know, if you have a story to tell, send it in and we will host it on the Cricket Hall of Fame website. So thank you all for coming, and we look forward to seeing everybody next Wednesday, and I will send out Pauline Davis's information so you can send her a condolences card. So we are adjourning and we thank you all. The last chance to say one word. Anybody? All right. So good night, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week.
Good night, night.
Yeah.
Okay, babe.